Listen, this isn't your regular gossip headline or some cheap tabloid drama. No, this is Buckingham Palace itself dropping the coldest, most brutal move in modern royal history. With just a single stroke of a pen, Archie and little Lilibet were completely erased from royal identity, wiped out, stripped clean, and don't get it twisted, it wasn't because of a feud or because Meghan gave one wrong interview. Oh no, this was the monarchy pulling out its deadliest weapon, protocol. The kind of protocol that doesn't bend, doesn't forgive, and doesn't forget. And you know what's even crazier? The palace sat there in silence for years. They let scandal after scandal swirl. Questions about Archie's birth certificate, whispers about Lilibet's California baptism. They didn't say a word, not a peep. Then out of nowhere, bam! The crown finally made its move. But here's the kicker. They didn't announce it in speeches. They didn't clap back in interviews. No, they used the one thing that can't be argued with: cold, hard legal documents, binding constitutional orders. Those papers made it crystal clear. Meghan and Harry's kids are permanently erased from the royal line. No heirs, no titles, no royal future. And if you think this was about emotion, think again. This wasn't anger. This wasn't spite. It was cold, calculated, surgical precision. A move rooted in decisions made over 100 years ago. And to really get this, we have to rewind all the way back to 1917. Picture it, 1917. Europe was burning, empires crumbling, thrones collapsing one after another. The British monarchy was hanging on by a thread, fighting just to survive. And King George V, he came up with a radical fix, something called the letters patent. Doesn't sound juicy, but honey, it was devastating. For the first time ever, strict lines were drawn. Who could be called prince, who could be called princess, and who could never. The rules were icy clear. Rule 1, the child had to be of legitimate royal blood. Rule 2, the crown itself had to formally recognize the birth. Rule 3, the child had to be christened into the Church of England. No wiggle room, no exceptions. For over a century, those rules held firm like steel bars. And now, in 2025, those exact same rules just came crashing down on Archie and Lilibet. Let's talk receipts, because the crown never forgets. First, Archie's birth certificate. In 2019, it looked fine, until it didn't. Out of nowhere, Meghan's name, originally written as Rachel Meghan Markle, got erased. Replaced with the cold, formal title, Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. Meghan swore the palace forced her. Palace aides denied it. Nobody backed down, and the damage was done. That one little document, the first legal proof of Archie's existence, turned into a tug of war. A crack in the record, and the crown never lets cracks slide. Then came receipt number 2, Lilibet's arrival. Oh, this one was icy. When she was born in 2021, there was no royal proclamation. No doctor signing, no ceremonial announcement, nothing. Meghan and Harry just blasted out a shiny California press release. Cute for Hollywood, maybe. But for the monarchy, it was as if Lilibet didn't even exist in the royal books. And here's receipt number 3, the baptism that wasn't. Meghan was glowing, showing off those smiling photos from California, telling the world that Lilibet had been baptized, but the Church of England, they never recognized it, not a chance. And you know what that means in royal law. No christening, no place in line, period. Meghan thought this was a healing moment, a sweet gesture for her daughter, but in reality, that decision slammed the door shut on her daughter's royal future. And it didn't stop there. Enter receipt number 4. Harry's desperate pleas. Behind the palace walls, sources swear Harry was begging. Late-night calls, emotional arguments, trying to reason with aides. His plea was simple. Stepping away from royal duties doesn't erase royal blood. His kids were still Windsors, still part of the dynasty. But what answer did he get? The coldest, most brutal response imaginable. This isn't about emotion. This is about order, lineage, and the future of the crown translation. Decisions already made, no debate, case closed. Meanwhile, the media tried to spin it differently. Glossy spreads, carefully staged photos, glowing headlines calling Lilibet a princess. But let's be real, the receipts tell another story. Legal orders, altered certificates, erased titles, and social media, they weren't buying the fairy tale. Twitter was on fire, roasting Meghan for celebrating a baptism that wasn't even official. TikTok compared Archie's certificate changes to Hollywood script rewrites. Memes crowned Lilibet the California princess with no crown. Savage. And the timing? That's the real question. Why now? Why after years of silence? Because the crown always plays the long game. Meghan and Harry had branded themselves as the ultimate royal rebels. Netflix deals, tell-all interviews, endless drama. But here's the twist. Rebellion only matters if the crown still claims you. Once you're erased, you're not rebels anymore. You're irrelevant. That's the monarchy's greatest weapon, silence. They don't need to drag Meghan through the press. They don't need to clap back at Harry's memoirs. They just wait. Patient, cold, and when the moment's right, they strike. A stroke of a pen, and poof, history rewritten forever. And here's the monarchy's coldest truth. truth. Order before affection, lineage before love. That's the unspoken code. For Meghan, this cuts deep on a brand level. Her entire image as a royal mom collapses if her kids aren't heirs. For Harry, it's far more personal. His children, his flesh and blood, sliced out of the dynasty he was born into. But the palace, they don't flinch. They don't care about feelings. To them, it's a checklist, and Archie and Lilibet failed every test King George V laid down back in 1917. No legitimate, untangled royal record. No crown-approved recognition at birth. No valid Church of England christening. Done and dusted. Case closed. So now the question everyone's whispering, was this the crown simply protecting itself, drawing a hard line in the sand? Or was this the final punishment, the ultimate price Meghan and Harry had to pay for daring to challenge the firm? Because one thing is clear, Buckingham Palace didn't just make a move, it rewrote the royal story forever.